Right, Wednesday, normal day of the week. Let me just get into how Lamine Yamal got dwarves at his 18th birthday party.
What is going on here?
I've made some YouTube videos in my time. I know, shock. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was. But sometimes you sit and make a video and you wonder, like, genuinely, what the hell is actually going on? So when people expose Lamine Yamal for having dwarves at his birthday party as entertainers, alongside hiring women for their chest dimensions, it really got the internet talking. Has this kid genuinely gone off the rails? Bro, what is this YouTube channel even about now, fam? I swear that I'm gonna have to put the sunglasses on for this one. We're getting booky today. For what it's worth, actually, I've literally just thought about this, like, just now after recording the intro. I'm basing this off articles that I have seen from, like, reputable organizations that should know better if it was a problem. I don't believe saying the word dwarf is an issue. I believe that's the socially acceptable thing to say at this moment in time. If I am wrong, then please do correct me. I'm literally just basing it off the fact that's what the BBC, The Athletic, and most other media organizations are saying. And I thought the video about Donald Trump and Juventus was as weird as things were gonna get. If you like borderline mental footballing stories though, make sure to subscribe. There's plenty more on this channel, and when we hit 750,000 subscribers, I'll be testing out my knee ligaments. If this video gets 6,000 likes, I'm gonna apply to become an entertainer as well. A mascot at a football club. But today we're talking about very different entertainers, and we're talking about very different entertainment. Because today, as I mentioned, Lamine Yamal has been criticized and is facing an investigation after holding an 18th birthday in which he had, you know, small-statured individuals as entertainers for him and a shed load of female models as well. Listen, man, maybe I'm out of touch with the youth, yeah, but when it was my 18th birthday, back in, like, fucking 1997, my 18th, we just went to prison. I'll be so real. I just wanted 11 Jaeger bombs and to call it a day. Instead, Lamine Yamal, he might be going to prison. And the jail, horny jail, bro, because he needs to calm down, fam.
What are you playing at?
Claudia Calvo is a Spanish model, and she was quoted as saying that she was asked to attend Lamine Yamal's birthday party. They offered models between 10,000 and 20,000 euros just to attend, but she was confused and concerned about what was expected from them because they were asking for blonde women with very specific chest dimensions. When I went uni, back in 1998, did I actually think I was going to be saying things like this, bro? Maybe I should have actually just become a doctor. They weren't allowed to take their phones either. This guy's doing freak-offs in Spain. He's getting his protractor out as a girl walks through the door to make sure the angles are correct. In essence, this man just wanted blonde models with titties. That is pretty much what happened here. And look, listen, they're obviously not the first girls to be paid to go to a party. Realistically, they're not the first girls to be paid to go to a footballer's party. After all, Jack Grealish exists.
Oh, what?
And your 18th birthday is a big deal. You know, in the UK, it's the first time you can start going to nightclubs, unless you got yourself a fake ID, like I have when I'm wearing these sunglasses. So it becomes kind of a big deal. It's the first time you can really experience, like, actual nightlife. And at least, you know, we put our hands up, we can say that his first, you know, big night out didn't end in disaster. You know, all those people in attendance, he still didn't end up getting COVID or any sort of get me, so that's fine. But I'm starting to wonder that my tweet saying that he was a complete freak may have come a year too early. Some of the pictures, to be fair, of him from the party looked absolutely sick. Someone pulled up 2 tweets and said that the style he was going for was in fact Biggie Smalls, and at least 50% of that name is relevant to the party that he ended up holding. There were some very interesting faces in attendance. Robert Lewandowski was seen to be at this party. Brother, you are 49 years old. Go and put the kids to bed, yeah? Nobody wants to see you dancing in the middle of the rain. There were some influencers and apparently some YouTubers in attendance as well. It wouldn't have surprised me if Speed had turned up and absolutely clamped Yamal through his shins to stop him from ever overtaking Cristiano Ronaldo's legacy in Spain. Because ultimately, I mean, the career that he's had already, he's immediately the youngest boss man in the scene. He's scaring everybody, you know, single-handedly dismantling clubs in the Champions League, putting together crazy performances in La Liga, winning Euro 2024 with Spain, being a genuine, legitimate contender for a Ballon d'Or at, like, the age of 12. His career up to this point has been a fairy tale. Unfortunately, unfortunately, in this one, his character is Snow White. Because, as I mentioned, the controversy here, really, I think the main controversy, there was some controversy with, you know, bringing a girl or, like, inviting girls, paying girls to be there. But let's be honest, again, athletes have done that before. There's pictures of Lionel Messi being, like, fed champagne by girls that have probably been paid to be performers at parties. That's not necessarily a massive issue. What did, and what seemed to be pretty outdated, were videos that ended up circulating of, as I mentioned, dwarves or small-statured people leaving the party, kind of walking through this forest area. I don't know where the fuck the party was happening, by the way. All I'm gonna say is, yeah, Lionel Messi won't have been happy when he realizes why he was getting invited to this party. Lisandro Martinez was in the VIP section. Sorry, I'm gonna stop.
Move this man!
And I just wonder whether Neymar has had too much of an influence on this kid already, because this is the type of thing that Neymar would do. Now, if we're gonna talk seriously about this situation, the reason why it's been criticized is that it is quite obviously not politically correct or quite obviously not okay to use anyone with a disability for entertainment purposes. In terms of entertainment that relies on mocking individuals with disabilities, or just entertainment that kind of highlights the fact that they do have disabilities. And so basically, a man called Jesus Martin Blanco, who's the Director General for the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in Spain, has called for an investigation into the party and an investigation into Lamine Yamal. And because it technically could break actual legislation, the ADEE, which stands for Association of People with Achondroplasia and Other Skeletal Dysplasias in Spain, are also condemning it as well, because they believe it's a violation of ethical values. Jesus Martin told a Spanish newspaper that for a guy who has so many followers, an influencer for young people, if he's throwing this kind of party, that can have a knock-on effect on young people. That he was concerned that people with money, people with power think they can get away with it. The ADEE, whose job basically is to safeguard, you know, the dignity of people with disabilities, especially in this kind of subgenre, I guess, said that they are planning to take legal action. They said it's unacceptable in the 21st century that people with dwarfism continue to be used as entertainment at private parties. The dignity and rights of our community are not entertainment for anyone under any circumstances. At the very least, it's something that's just like a bit outdated. But there is another side of the story as well, because the next day, a Catalan radio station did an interview with allegedly one of the dwarves that was at the party. His identity was hidden, you know, to keep him safe or whatever, but he basically backed Lamine Yamal. He said they have their own contracts. We are normal people, self-employed, and do everything legally. He also suggested that the associations and these bodies that are there, you know, technically speaking, to protect them, hadn't actually reached out to any of the individuals that were at the party to kind of ask for their opinions before threatening legal action, and then went on to say, we do this job because we want to, nobody's forcing us to. We always agree with our clients that if we see one single sign of disrespect towards our activity, the show ends. I've never experienced a lack of respect of that type while working so far. Which is true, man. Like, I think what I will say, some of the discourse that I've seen around this has actually been almost a little bit preemptive and kind of a little bit like people projecting what they assume is happening at a party like this because of the individuals that are involved. They maybe see a person of this type and then just assume that the only way they could be at a party is that they're being made fun of. Probably because of media that we've seen in the past or examples that have gone on. But if the fact of the matter is these guys are enjoying the work that they are doing, why should they be treated any differently in terms of that work that they are doing? They're just going to be entertainers. They're going just to serve drinks. They still have to get work. You could argue that it's discriminatory, realistically, to assume that these guys can't make those decisions on their own or shouldn't make those decisions on their own. As I said, if they want the work, which is echoed in the Catalan radio interview, they should get it. And if they're suggesting that there's absolutely no signs of disrespect and the fact that there's an agreement in place, and if there is that level of disrespect, everything ends, then you have to assume they know what they're doing. I saw discourse suggesting that people of short stature shouldn't be, you know, reduced to being waitresses or waiters or entertainers at a party. And I totally agree with that sentiment. That is absolutely the case. I do think that can then sometimes be quite elitist of job descriptions generally, though. Like, absolutely they should not be just doing that alone and just that job. They should be free to do whatever job they want to do and whatever job they are qualified to do. But ultimately, if these guys want to do this job, they want to be entertainers, then they're fully within their rights to do so. I think my overall conclusion is that it's definitely like a techie ethical issue. I totally understand why people are a little bit enraged, like on surface level. But I think if you were to ask all of the short-statured individuals themselves whether they were absolutely fine, whether they experienced any disrespect, and they were to say, I'm good, I like doing this job, I want to have the choice to do this job, I don't want people to tell me how to do this job, and they suffer no disrespect, like as he said in this, like radio interview, I don't really see how we can be outraged ultimately. These are people that, often have to go through a lot of challenges and suffer through a lot of, disrespect in life. The very least we can do is give them the opportunity to choose the jobs that they want to do. However, with Lamine Yamal, sometimes I'm a little bit, because the thing is, Lamine Yamal's never going to flop as a footballer, right? He's already, arguably the best footballer in the world, if we're being real. He's not gonna become like Mario Balotelli and go off the rails and whatever. Like, he's already far too good for that. But I do wonder if someone just needs to sit him down after this party and go, right, cool, Lamine, you've had a nice, blowout of a party. Let's just chill out for a second, because this comes very shortly after the controversy around Fatih Vazquez, an OnlyFans model who's 12 years older than him, spending a holiday together despite a pretty large age gap. This is probably what happens when your dad is identifiable as an Xbox 360 gamer tag, to be fair. But try and avoid some controversy. Let the football do the talking, because he's absolutely incredible at it. That, though, is going to wrap up today's video. What do you guys think of one of the most booky headlines that I've seen of this year so far? What do you make of Lamine Yamal? What do you make of the party? What do you make of Robert Lewandowski's TikTok account? Guys, I'm sorry, I can't let this go. I know it's been years. If you did enjoy this video, though, feel free to slap a like on it and make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. You can also follow me on social media. It is @theofficialfng on Twitter, Insta, and on TikTok as well. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.